Hello everyone. In this session we are going to study some topics related to properties of matter. Specifically we will be studying elastic properties of matter. So the elastic property of matter is of vital importance in our daily life. For example, it helps us to determine the strength of cable to support the weight of the bodies, such as in cables, cars, lifts, etc. Right? It helps us to determine the strength of the beam for the construction of buildings and bridges. Mechanical strength of every object around us is related to its elastic property. The elastic properties of any material is very important for the development of new materials, right? For the betterment of the and the development of the various scientific and engineering fields such as mechanical, civil, electronics, aeronautical, aerospace, etc. So one of the most fundamental questions that an engineer has to know is how the material behaves under stress and when will it break. Ultimately, the answer to this question would steer the development of new materials and will determine the behavior of this materials under various environmental and physical conditions. Elasticity is an elegant and fascinating subject that deals with the determination of stress, strain and displacement distribution, right, in a solid under the influence of external forces. So there are various civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electronics and aerospace or aeronautical applications, right, based on elasticity. For example, if we talk about civil engineering applications, so there is slope and deflection analysis, or we should say stress and deflection analysis for structures like rods, plates, beams, shells, concrete, rocks, etc. Right? If we talk about mechanical engineering applications, then there are numerous problems such as fatigue mechanics, design of machine elements, thermal analysis, right? Then fracture mechanics, right? So these are the various civil and mechanical engineering applications. Material science engineering also uses elasticity to determine the stress fields in crystalline solids, dislocations and microstructures, right? And applications in aeronautical engineering includes stress, fatigue and fracture analysis of aerostructures. So that is why these are the reasons that elasticity is an important subject to study, right, if you want to study the properties of matter. Okay, so first of all let us define elasticity. So the property for material or an object or a body to regain its original condition, right, on removal of deforming forces, right. Suppose if a deforming force is applied on a body, okay, then there are some changes on the body, right. The changes may be in length, volume or shape, right. But if you remove the deforming forces and if the body completely recover its original condition, then that body is known as elastic body, right, rather perfect elastic body, and this property is known as elasticity. Okay, so simply the property of a body or an object to regain its original condition, right, after the removal of deforming forces is known as elasticity. Okay, now perfect elastic bodies. So on removal of deforming forces, some bodies regain their original condition completely. Okay, these bodies are called perfect elastic bodies. And then there is plastic bodies, right? On removal of deforming forces, some bodies do not show any tendency to recover their original condition. Such bodies are called plastic bodies. So as you can see in the diagram itself, right, there are some bodies are shown, right, which are elastic and plastic, right. If a body regain its original condition completely, then it is known as perfect elastic body. And if a body do not recover its original condition or do not even show any tendency to recover its original condition, then it is known as a plastic body, right. If a body partially regain its original condition on the removal of deforming forces, then it is said to be a partial plastic body or partial elastic body. Okay, so now let us understand some basic definitions. For example, load. The combination of external forces acting on the body, in effect changing the form or dimensions of the body, is known as load. Thus, load is a deforming force, right? So, load is one of the deforming forces. We can say load is a type of deforming force, right? So, whenever the load is applied, right, whenever the combination of external forces is applied on a body, right, there are some changes in the body. It may be in its form, right, shape can be changed, or the dimension, length or volume can also be changed. Okay, so after applying the external forces, right, a body is undergoing some changes. Okay, the combination of this external forces is known as load. Okay, then there is stress. So due to the deforming forces or loads applied to a body, a reaction force, or we can say a restoring force, is produced inside the body due to the relative displacement of its molecule, tending to balance the load and restore the body to its original condition. The restoring force per unit area set up inside the body is known as stress. Okay, so what happens whenever, suppose there is a body, and whenever you are applying a force to a body, okay, so what will happen, the molecules inside the body will be displaced from its original position. Okay, so due to this relative displacement of the molecules, in restoring force, a reaction force is produced inside the body, okay, which is equal to the external force normally. Okay, so this force set up inside the body due to the relative displacement of molecules per unit area is known as stress. Okay, so reaction, it can be also said to be a restoring force or reaction force. Then strain. What is strain? The change produced in the dimensions of the body under a system of deforming forces in equilibrium is called strain. Okay, so as I said that whenever the force, external force or combination of external forces is applied to a body, what happens? There is a displacement of its molecules, due to which it changes its shape or dimensions, right? This change in dimensions produced inside the body under a system of deforming forces is called strain. Okay, so depending upon the force applied on a body, there are three types of stresses: longitudinal or linear stress, volume stress, and tangential stress or shear stress. And depending upon the stress, there are three types of strain: longitudinal or linear strain, volume strain, and shear strain. Okay, so these parameters are very much important to determine the elastic properties of a body, right? It determines how the material behaves, right? We can determine how the material behaves under various load conditions, various environmental and physical conditions with the help of this parameter, right? Let me give you an example. Okay, if I ask you a question, right, whether rubber is more elastic or steel, okay, so what will be the answer, right? So what happens, suppose a body is said to be more elastic, right, if when you apply large deforming force but the strain is small, okay, then it is said to be more elastic, right? So if we take two same wires, right, similar wires, one of rubber and another of steel, and if we apply equal deforming force on both these wires, so what will happen? The extension produced in rubber wire will be much more than that of the steel wire. Okay, or we can say that to produce a appreciable amount of strain in steel wire, right, a large amount of deforming forces has to be applied. A large amount of internal restoring force has to be set up inside the steel wire, right? Then and then only there will be an appreciable amount of strain produced in the steel wire, right? So this is the reason that steel is more elastic than rubber. Okay, so steel is more elastic than rubber. So these are the parameters that define this type of properties. So this is all about this session. Thank you.